In this video, I'm going to show you how to repair this rusty old door and make it look like new. This is a list of tools and materials I used to make this video. The first step in doing body work and repairing a rust hole like this is to find where the rust stops. So you're going to have to grind down around the rust hole till you see bare metal. And this is the rest of the door. You can see it's pretty rough, but we'll get it fixed. As you can see, we have a lot of peeling and paint we're going to have to address. Now we're going to outline what we're going to cut out. When we line this out, we're going to leave about an 1/8 inch down at the bottom. This will be used to line a new piece in seamlessly. Now that we've cut this away, you can see that we're going to have to do some more cutting on the back side. Let me get this cut out and I'll come right back. Now we have all our rusting material removed and cut out. We're going to take the piece that we cut out over to new material so we can cut out the same shape. So here's the top cutout piece. We're going to lay it up here on this 22 gauge piece of sheet metal. And we're going to leave about a 1/2 inch gap here because we're going to do a fold over so it matches the fold over of the material on the door. It's going to look a lot better. And now we have our piece all marked up and ready to cut out. And now that we have it all cut out, we're going to take and we're going to fold the edge over to match the door. But before we do this, we're going to go over and match up against the door and make sure that everything lines up still. And as you can see, it lines up really well. So we're going to go ahead and take the pliers and fold it over at the line that we made. And here's our finished piece. So let's line it up on a door and see how it fits. And the piece fits up very well. So we're going to get some magnets, which is why I like to use to hold everything in place while I get some tacks on it. And I'll show you that here in a second. And now we got the magnets in there to hold everything in place. We're ready to throw some welds on here. We'll tack around first and then weld everything together. And now we have everything welded in, ground down. As you can see at the bottom of the door, we have a little piece missing. We're going to weld in a little piece of material and then we can grind down. And once we get the Bondo on there, it'll all look like one uniform piece by the time we're done. I found a little piece of material and welded it in here at the bottom. There's still a little bit of gap there, but we'll fill that with fiberglass whenever we get to the bodywork stage. So here we go. We're going to take a short strand fiberglass on the first layer just to fill the holes up and help waterproof it. It makes a nice waterproof base. And this is the door after adding the fiberglass. This is the type of fiberglass I used for this project. So now we're going to use the DA and sand this down with 80 grit sandpaper. We just basically want to level the surfaces and fill in where we welded. Now that we leveled everything with 80 grit, we're going to use 120 grit and go back over the whole door. And while we were sanding that down, we decided to go ahead and go all the way around the door and sand down everything, level it out, get it ready for Bondo. Now I like to use black primer as guide coat. You can go out and buy especially guide coat, but this is basically the same thing. We're going to spray down pretty much the whole door with the black primer and use that to know where all our high spots are after we sand. You'll see all the dark spots here are the low spots, and that's where you need to add more Bondo and then sand down again. And now we basically repeat those 3 steps. We've added the Bondo to the low spots, so now we will add guide coat, then we'll sand down again, and keep repeating that process until you get the surface that we want. If you don't have a DA, you can easily use a sanding block and sandpaper. And once we get it leveled out where we like it, we'll start with 220 and work our way down, and keep repeating these steps until we get a nice smooth surface. Once everything's nice and leveled down, we'll start taping everything up and get everything cleaned up, and we'll start adding primer. And this is the basic primer that I use, just basic Rust-Oleum. And once the door was completely coated in primer, I used this large sanding block at 220 and sand down the whole door so we can find our last few small low spots. And once again, primer, sand, fill, repeat. And this is the final time I put Bondo on, just to fill in some small imperfections. As you can see, we reprimed the door and it came out really nice. After looking at the part more closely, I found a couple more spots, so I did one last Bondo primer sand, and now everything looks great. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos in this series, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.